Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the end of February's edition of MyRealTalk with
Kiara, McLaughlin.
and Roger Southam. Welcome along. So,
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Have you subscribed? If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now. Just
Stop
press
pressuring
pause,
the people.
subscribe. No, they've got to be pressured because people aren't subscribing.
People don't like to be
They're
pressured
watching.
sometimes.
We're getting great feedback. We're getting great feedback. I had a guy from the UK who's just messaged me this morning saying he thinks we are killing it with these podcasts.
In the UK?
In the UK.
Oh, look at that.
In the UK. We got a global reach, girl.
Yeah.
Hey. February's been an interesting month, and we're going to hit on affordable housing, and we're going to talk about private finance, because with the way the interest rates have been moving, which is pretty damn scary.
And now they're saying it's going to increase again by March.
Yeah, absolutely. So by the time you're watching this, they may well be even more close to the extra quarter point. So let's jump into that straight away, shall we? So there's a number of people that I've been speaking with over the course of February and who have got various initiatives going where high net worths sitting on piles of cash, not getting great interest rates or great returns on some of the money, are looking at ways to improve their returns, of providing a service, of delivering a product into the marketplace. And when you look at what is available in Cayman on the finance side with the banks, and this is no disrespect to the banks, but they're generally very vanilla in what they offer and how they offer it. Now, by vanilla, I mean it's very simple. So you want to buy a house, you want to buy a piece of land, they will lend up to a certain percentage on that price. That's what they do.
Right, so with the private financing, they're going to do better interest rates compared to the bank.
Yes.
Okay, and will they do the same amount of years as the bank?
No. So the theory is you're not getting a banking product, you're getting a sort of tailored financial product. So if we went to the US or we went to the UK, you would have a number of different financing options. It wouldn't just be the high street banks that you would necessarily go to for lending.
Right.
So when I was working in the UK and doing investment portfolios, the likes of GE, the light bulbs and engineering company and all that stuff, well, they had an arm called GE Capital because they made so much cash, they would lend it out.
Yeah, but for how long?
I would take 3-year loans or 5-year loans, and it was structured on portfolios.
So what's the maximum loan you think?
Well, it's going to depend on what you're doing. So if you've got an initiative where you want to build a portfolio, where you want to develop some buildings and then have a rental portfolio, or you want to trade them on.
Okay, now I'm following, you see, because I was so confused for a second. But so ideally, so if I want to develop my property, I could take a 5-year loan, get the cash, develop, and then pay back within the 5 years.
Exactly. Or you take a 1-year or 2-year loan. You don't need to have it for necessarily 5 years.
Okay, yeah.
But it's about getting different options into the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And from what I've seen in Cayman, there is a demand for it, as I say, because. And it's no disrespect to the banks in any way, shape, or form, because they provide a function, and how they do it is great. What?
I didn't understand anything you just said.
I said no disrespect to
we heard that part.
Because they provide a service and a function, and what they do is great, but it isn't the kind of sophisticated tools and the sophisticated financing options that some people need or some people could do with.
Right.
So it's just an added dimension that's coming into the marketplace. Now, a lot of this will have happened sort of under the radar, perhaps, but it just seems to be becoming more prevalent, and we've got access to a few of those options. So if you're looking at innovative ways of financing, if you look at innovative ways to buy a property, come and talk to us, because we're not your just typical broker. We have far wider skill sets. As Liam Neeson said, I have skills. We have great skills. And between us and the rest of the team, we can meet your every need. That's what we offer. Chamber of Commerce AGM happened earlier this month, and
congrats to Nelson.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Nelson coming
congrats,
in
Nelson.
as El Presidente.
Yeah.
He's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
he's going to be awesome.
He's the man for the job, for sure.
Lovely guy.
Yeah.
But they had the Premier, Wayne Panton, and Andre Ebanks there. MP is the Honourable. I'm sure he's Honourable. Well, he must be Honourable. But anyway, so the Premier got up and spoke and went through various things they want to be doing and leading and sorting and moving forward with. And one of the topics he hit on, and where they have a passion and desire, is on affordable housing. And it's an interesting topic, and it's one that is fraught with pitfalls, but is also much needed. So getting the name right is the first thing, because calling it affordable creates a stigma immediately.
Is this separate from national housing?
It's all in that same category, really. But it's how do you put a name on something that doesn't immediately create a stigma that it's a below market value, or it's a cheaper product, or there's that element to it, so it makes it appealing. The UK got round it apart by calling they will have key worker accommodation. So like your services, nurses, waiters, etc. So kind of key worker. That's quite a nice phrase, because it's kind of, they are key because they drive the economy. They're doing the jobs day in, day out.
We need them.
Whereas affordable sounds like, oh, you poor sucks can't afford this. So that kind of naming is important. But then drilling down further, there's a number of aspects that worry me greatly. It's worried me about the UK. US worries me for a whole heap of different reasons on this topic. But Cayman, as it launches in, it's an opportunity to get something right from the get-go and learn from what has been done elsewhere. Now, the biggest problem has been you get the product built and into the marketplace, but once it's in the market, then the first people in sort of profiteer out of it if you don't build safety nets and safeguards to keep it in that category the whole time.
Right. They've already did these affordable housings. They've done it across from the supermarket behind Lakeside.
Yeah.
They've done it in West Bay. They've done it a few places, and they completely knocked out the one in West Bay and the one right there in town. So for them to go over now again 2 years later to say they're doing it again.
But once they were done, were they always pegged at affordable, or were they in the open market and therefore it was gone in terms of affordability?
No, it wasn't in the open market. It was
rental product.
Well, it was particularly for people who only makes a certain amount.
But could they buy, or were they renting?
I believe they bought.
Right. But if they don't put any mechanism in place, having bought it, then once they own it, they could then put it out into the marketplace at full market value. So they might buy it cheap, but then it's going into the free market.
Right.
Now that's the problem. And it's not a problem from the person making a profit, it's a problem from the fact you're losing the affordable stock. So it doesn't stay in that key worker category.
Well, I don't think they're allowed to sell it back because it's the government who built it. So it would have to be sold back to the government.
Right, then that does safeguard.
Right.
But it's those details, and it's a question of what it's sold back at and how you create that mechanism. Because in an ideal world, what you would be doing is creating key worker home or affordable homes. We can call it whatever we want. Let's keep it as affordable, just because we know what we're talking about with that. Although there's better names out there. That once it's created, if you don't keep it in the affordable category, it's gone into the marketplace. And what you should be using it for is for your people who are in that camp to be able to do better and then progress through from there. That's the intention. But you don't want to lose the stock from being in that category.
Right.
Because otherwise, if say they build 100 or 200 homes a year, and first cohort go into those 100 or 200 homes, come 2 or 3 years down the line, what someone else going to buy if that's got into the open market.
Right. I don't know. I don't think it would be the same as the open market, because with government they're going to use cheaper materials. They're not going to use concrete.
See, but again, then that's fascinating, because, and this is why the debate is so important. It needs really to be engaged and worked through, because it doesn't need to be cheaper materials. It doesn't need to be an inferior product. It doesn't need to look any different. There's a thing in the States where they have a phrase of pour doors, which I think is appalling. But they will have buildings that will be affordable and open market, cheap by jowl. And the UK do the same thing. So in a block of apartments, a 40% would need to be affordable. Well, typically they would build a slightly inferior product, or they would build it differently or whatever. But then that got realized that that was a bad thing. So they were sort of forced into a position where, no, it's got to look the same, it's got to be the same, and it's got to deliver the same. So there's no reason why to build an affordable product should be an inferior product, and it shouldn't look inferior. It's about building smarter. It's about finding ways to maximize value and maximize return. So, for example, the government's got land it could be using, so you remove the land cost as a factor in the pricing. So there's ways that it can be approached, but it's about desire and will and want to do that. But then equally, it's making sure you don't create a stigma and you don't create something that someone feels less than. It's all about status. It's all about people's self-respect.
Right.
And if it's done right, awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be heading for.
So now finally, what we want to touch base on is sellers. Are your agents representing you out of your best interests, showing professionalism, work ethic?
Yeah.
Are they looking out for you? So earlier in February, I came across reaching out to an agent for another company saying, hey, I have a buyer, really interested in seeing this property. Could we arrange a showing? Arranged a showing, confirmed a time. And then about 2 hours later, I received an email from the broker of the company saying, which we'll post up on the screen so you can see, we do not wish to do any business with you or my realtor, and therefore we refuse any offer from your company. We wish you the best in your career. I was so shocked because I said to Roger, are we allowed to deny any offers on behalf of our clients? We didn't even make an offer. We didn't have the opportunity to. But me being the agent that I am, I reached out to my broker first, made him dealt with it. The broker said to him that they just don't want to work with us. So my next option was I went back to my buyer and I said, listen, this is a great property. I think it's a great property for investment. Just go check it out. See if you like it, if you want to buy it, and then, use it for investment. And then I sent him the capture of the email as well. Like, this broker is just refusing to work with me. I don't know why, but not only is it sad, it's kind of depressing that...
Well, I'm going to cut in there.
Okay.
Because that's not really the only incident that we've ever seen of this.
No, this is like...
So occasionally...
It's been happening.
We will get people who don't want to split their fees, who will say, oh, we've got an offer. We'll get someone else to phone up and find out they don't have an offer, because they think they should be getting the whole bit about splitting fees and all the rest of it. It happens in the States and happens here. But in the UK, that isn't how the market works. And consequently, it's a much cleaner line. And that's why I'm trying to build an English estate agency, because it's all about the client and it's all about the delivery of service. Us and our fees is not what it's about. It's not about us.
Exactly.
So
stop making it about us.
Under our ICS regulation and other organisations in the UK I belong to, we could not do that.
Yeah,
So I would never do it anyway, but I can't conceive why you
definitely
wouldn't.
not.
In short, make sure your agents are in your best interests. That's what I would say.
We're not saying this to, we're not, if we wanted to, we could put on blast who these agents are and which companies these are, but that's not our goal.
We're not there.
Our goal is to make sure you are being provided the best service possible. If you're going to list your property with an agent, sit down with them, send them an email saying, I expect to receive all offers and I expect to have all showings if the person is more than able and willing to purchase the place.
Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
Yep. So
here's a positive 2023.
absolutely.
Yeah.
23 has been good so far.
Yeah.
I'm loving 23.
Yeah.
So enjoy the start of March. We'll see you in the middle of March, and good luck in all you do.
Yeah.
Subscribe.